Manchester United has got a real opportunity to sign a top striker who can come and be the perfect replacement for Antony Martial. Guys, we cannot sleep on this. My name is Webb, and I'm back here to tell you about a player we might want to go for so fast early into the summer. This, for me, should be one of the easiest signings we first deal away with at the start of the summer transfer window. Look at that tweet that has just come through from Fabrizio Romano about the guy who is now the second top scorer in the Bundesliga, 27-year-old Serhou Guirassy. He is a Guinean international, but it doesn't matter where he's born. And guys, I know there are so many people who have got reservations about African players. That's what we were like against Andre Onana. Onana is now beginning to perform, and we are all convinced he was the right player for Manchester United. But look, Serhou Guirassy is scoring goals for fun. He scored against Frankfurt for VFB Stuttgart. That's the team he plays for. He scored for them in their 3-0 win over Frankfurt. But the boy has scored 25 goals in 23 games. Look at this tweet from Fabrizio Romano about Serhou Guirassy and how he has been named the player of the month for the Bundesliga. But that's not even it, because being player of the month is not surprising. Now listen, he has scored 27 goals in 25 official games, 25 goals in 23 in the Bundesliga. He's only behind Harry Kane in the top scorers charts. Harry Kane has got 32 goals for Bayern Munich. Now, of course, Bayern Munich is Bayern Munich. Harry Kane is always going to score more goals in the Bundesliga, coming from the Premier League with how hot he was. Obviously, he was always going to shine at Bayern in the Bundesliga. Never mind them not winning the title. Stuttgart now is lying third on the log behind Bayern. Well, of course, Bayer Leverkusen won the title, but they are lying third on the pile, of course, knocking at Champions League places. But this guy has been a consistent performer. I spoke about him in the summer, and I was telling you Manchester United should go for him. Look at the price fee. His release clause is still open and valid until this summer, for the entire summer. His release is close to 25 million euros. Now remember, we are obviously looking for a backup for Rasmus Højlund. We paid 72 million pounds for Rasmus Højlund. He's only 21. Now we are losing Antony Martial, who has been earning a lot of money, and we are saying we need a more experienced striker than Rasmus Højlund to come in and be his backup. Now there's been talks of Ivan Toney, and Toney is a good player, but Toney is expensive. We don't have money. We need fast choice players in so many other positions. Why not go for this cheap 15 million pounds player in the summer, proven goal scorer, who I strongly believe can come in there at Manchester United and actually be a starter? Imagine getting a potential starter for cheap like that. He's 27, meaning his wages will not probably go beyond 40,000 or 30,000 pounds per week. I mean, if your buyout clause is 15 million pounds in football, really, your wages cannot go anywhere beyond 45 or 50,000 pounds per week. So little money, a player in his prime age, he's a silent assassin. He's not really being looked at by so many, but I think for me it's a thing of people undermining perhaps him and his profile, because he doesn't have a rich profile. But if you watch him and the goals he scores, he's good on the ball. He's tall. He has got a good physicality on him. He has got a good attitude. He has got that hunger you need in a striker for goals. He's different. I feel like he's a striker who can completely push Rasmus Højlund to get the best out of him. I actually think he can also play with him, because he can drift well in the wide places and keep finding him. If other players are selfish, I think in the rotation they can actually play together at some point. He's not a typical guy, kind of number 9 who cannot bring a different dimension to his game and perhaps play with another striker. He can properly do that because he can carry the ball. He's good with penalties. He's different. He's a special talent, but somehow Man United are sleeping on him, and teams like Chelsea are talking about him. Now imagine a team like Chelsea, with all the money they have, if they went into the market and signed Serhou Guirassy with Man United looking around, I think it would be a huge disappointment, because the reality is we do need him more. We are more desperate for such a cheap top player than Chelsea would be. So to the summer transfer window, this again, I told you I'll come here and tell you players position per position that I think Man United should be going for. For me, when it comes to the backup striker for Højlund, I don't expect United to spend anything more than 30 million pounds on a striker when we spent 72 million pounds on a 21-year-old hot player like Rasmus Højlund with the potential he has shown. I think Højlund is just waiting for everything to click right at Man United in terms of the structure, whatever Sergeant Ratcliffe is doing. to come right and he'll start scoring goals. But he must have a backup because we've seen that when he's not there, we struggle. There is no striker. Marcus Rashford is just pretending there. He's not really a striker. He doesn't even want to play as a number 9. You've got such a player who you can get for the almost the same amount of money we paid for the loan spell of Sofiane Amrabat. Because we paid almost £10 million for Amrabat. Add about 5 million to that, and you get Serhou Guirassy. Honestly, in this summer where we won't have so much money to play because in the Premier League on the log, we're not going to finish in a good money-making position. That's one. The only good money we'll make will be in the TV rights because, of course, we are Man United. There's always going to be a bigger paycheck for United. But even for United, by the way, even when it comes to the TV rights, I think we've struggled now to command a big fee like we used to because our games are not as attractive as they were until the advent of Kobe Mainu. That's the reason now why people now run to watch United games. So there is not so much money for us to spend. We need to be getting any good cheap players around. And for a 27-year-old player, because I don't expect Man United to go in the market and spend a lot of money on a young striker because young strikers are expensive. They're extremely expensive, and today in football there are lots of options. So it will be so painful to see teams like Fulham, because I'm hearing Fulham talking about Serhou Guirassy, teams like Chelsea, so go and snatch Serhou Guirassy, yet we've been talking about him since the summer. And I've had people trying to beat him down because, of course, he's African and because people have reservations about that temperament. And I know in history, not so many African players have shown at Manchester United. You look at players like him, the last to shine was Quinton Fortune, and now probably Andrew Nana is proving like he's looking like he might shine. Most of them, Jemba, the rest of the ones we had, did not really show up. They did not turn up. But you see, the thing is, this is a backup. We are looking at a player we are bringing in as a backup striker, not our first choice striker, a part of the rotation, honestly. A striker who has scored 25 goals in 23 games in one of the big 4 leagues in Europe, finished leading his small team to third place, Champions League material. Honestly, that striker is good enough. If he's coming for £15 million to Man United, he's good enough to be a backup for Højlund. If anything, he is good enough to be starting in this Manchester United we have. So for me, that's one of the quick ones I think we need to put away to sort. Before we go into the big deals that we are talking about, and I'm going to tell you about those in perhaps my next video, because now we are heading into the summer. The season, I think, is clear. We know where we're going to finish. We know the best we can do. The focus now is on winning the FA Cup and finish anywhere. I think anywhere will do right now when it comes to the Premier League. But the focus now is how are we going to reorganize in the summer? And that's why I'm beginning now to come to give you players who we are looking at, who we should be going for seriously in the summer. We've been linked to so many, but as the summer edges closer, the list should be trimmed and we should have a sense of consistency in terms of which players we are looking at. So for me, without a shadow of a doubt, Serhou Guirassy, 27, proven striker now. He was just on loan from Renat Stuttgart. They signed him on a permanent because he impressed. And right now, the guy is scoring goals for fun. I'm thinking Stuttgart should be thinking if they could somehow negotiate his contract and reverse the buyout clause of veto it and see him go for more, because honestly this is a 35 million pounds player. You don't score so many goals like that in this day and age in these markets, and you go for 15 million quid, and that's exactly what United, his buyout clause runs out in all across the entire summer. Guys, this is the player Man United has got to be going for. I don't know about you. I'm already convinced and sold that this is the player who needs to push Højlund. Højlund needs the player to push him consistently, and it should be a player who will come and instantly command respect, who is proven. Now, he may not be proven in the Premier League because even Højlund was not from the Premier League, but he's proven in a top league. The Bundesliga is a top league in Europe, and it has got guys who are scoring goals. For him to be number 2 in terms of top scorers on a list that has got Hurricane as the top with 32 goals. They have got Lois Openda, who has got 22 goals for RB Leipzig. Remember, the Bundesliga is a high scoring league. He's got Denise Undav of Stuttgart, plays with him as well, who has got 16 goals. He has got Maximilian Beer for Feinheim, who has got 13 goals. They have got Niklas Fulkrug, who has got 11 goals. There are good goal scorers in there. Victor Boniface, who has got 11 of the champions, Bayer Leverkusen. Honestly, this is a top striker that we cannot be sleeping on. So my verdict is Sajim Ratcliffe, INEOS, go for him. Let him be the first player we sought in the summer. I pray that this time we have a quick summer transfer window. That's why we need to decide on players now. We don't need to have most of our key players turning up or showing up when we're already midway the preseason. It's bad. We have all the time now. We've had the time for the longest time to identify the areas we need to boost. We have got, we've probably had the time to identify the players. Sadly, the team has not been fully constituted in Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilcox, the CEO, my brother. But behind the scenes, they should be able to do the work and identify the players and have them in place so that by the time the summer clocks, we're just moving and signing these players before anyone. So early in the first couple of weeks in the window, all our signings are done. By the time we go into the preseason, all players are in and settled, and we get on with business. That is how you rebuild a serious team. My name is Webb. This is the United of Sport. Subscribe